What's up everybody, Collector Joey here, and today I do have an amazing review for you guys. Today I will be reviewing these fusion reactors. Now what fusion reactors are is kind of a dummy battery with a wire, so you never have to deal with these little batteries that Hot Toys gives you, and they only usually last about 15 minutes. Now you can have these, hook it up to a USB, and boom, you are done. But anyways, here is where you can get them right here on this Instagram. You just message them and tell them what you want and they will get it for you. But anyways, tell me what you think about this review in the comment section below. Also, while you're down there, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the video. So here is what you will get with your fusion reactor box. This is really nice. I absolutely love that they included this right here. You do have 7 USB ports that you can turn on individually. I think this is a nice touch that they gave with us. This also is powered by a USB right here. You can use any 5-volt USB brick. I would recommend 5-volt just because it's not too much power going into your figure, but I really appreciate that they give us this, and you can, turn them on individually. That is really, really cool. It has some lights down here as well. And then this is the main attraction right here. This is what you will get, or what you will see when you get your fusion reactors and everything. So it has my name right there, and then you want to open it up like that, and then we do have the fusion reactors right here labeled and everything. So here's the Mark IV head. I don't know why I got 2, but that's Mark IV head right there. And then we do have the Mark IV, just all the whole body and everything. You see it's a quarter scale, so it's a lot of wiring. And then you also do have the battle damage Mark 85. Now this is the light version, so this only does the chest and the arm, I believe. And this one is a cool one. I have tried it already just to see if it worked and everything. And here's the Mark 7. Now since I did try it already, you know how you do have to cover the batteries up and screw it in. The covers are right here. So what I did is, with the corresponding figure, I usually put all the screws that I didn't use because I didn't want to tighten it back up on the wire. I usually just leave it without the cover and everything, and put that cover back in here with the corresponding name, of the figure. So that's a little tip for you guys. Now let me actually get I'm gonna do 2 figures for us. I'm gonna do the Mark IV quarter scale, and then I'll do the Mark 80 battle damage Mark 85, so we can see those awesome colors in the arms. But let's actually get this started and see what it looks like installing it and everything like that. And here is the battle damaged Mark 85. So this one always looks beautiful, guys. You guys know that. But this will only light up on the arm because I got the light version, and the chest, and these little lights on his sides as well. But this is going to be, all wired up over here. I'll show you kind of how to do it, and how much it's not too hard to do, but you do gotta, mess with it a little bit. So let's get into that. So I'll take out this one. I know you kind of need the plastic tools, but it's still a little bit loose from me actually taking it apart earlier, so I kind of know how everything's done. And you're going to want to take out, these little covers as well. Like I told you, when you take those covers out, you want to put it back inside of the inside of its corresponding baggie. So there we go. This is the only ones I believe it comes with, so you do plug one in there, one in there, and one in here. Now let me take out the Mark 85 fusion reactor real quick. So here we have it right here. Here is the battle damage Mark 85. Like I told you, I did put the covers in there and all that, so I don't get it mixed up. And let me take this out. Of course, yours is going to come nicer than this because I already kind of used it already. But there we go. So we do have 3 little. It's not that hard. You don't really need instructions for it. It kind of speaks for itself. So the bigger one, of course, goes where the bigger slot is, and the smaller ones go on here. You don't have any right or wrong, right, left side. It just goes in the same way. But what you do have, and you have to be very careful of, and they have like a negative right here. So this is the negative, and you're gonna have to put it in the negative spot on the actual figure. So make sure you do have it on the correct side. So I do see the negative is on top, so we will place that negative facing the top part and kind of put it in at an angle and push down on that spring, and then it should pop in. It might take a couple tries. You might need to just make sure it's okay going in. And there we go. So also make sure you push it all the way to the back. It's not coming out or anything like that. And it is in there like that. And then we do have the two right here, the two smaller ones. Like I said, this does have the negative drawn on it as well. You're going to want to see where the negative is on these and put it where it's supposed to go. So the negative is on top again. So we're going to put this on top. If you do, I have huge fingers, so if you have smaller fingers, this should be a cakewalk for you. So okay, so I got that one in right there like that. And then let's get the last one in really quickly. So there we go. I have all three of them in. You can see 1, 2, and 3. Not that hard at all to do. And then we have the string going all the way down, and then you'll want to plug it in to this right here. Big thing also is to make sure that this is on already. All these switches are on already before you plug it in or anything. Just switch them to on. Now let's turn it on and see what it looks like now that everything is connected. Boom, there we go, guys. We do have the lights on. You see them 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the middle one. This is the light version, like I said, of the fusion reactor, battle damage Mark 85. And then you do have the lights inside of here looking amazing. You can see some of the stones lit up. The green one doesn't light up too much. That's usually, you know, how it is. But this is much better than having just batteries in there that die, you know, in 20 seconds. So this is really cool to have just in your collection. So here is all the wires. What I usually do is feed this one through the top. Right here you have this little gap that you can feed that wire through, and then with these shoulder or I guess I don't know, bicep or whatever it is, I kind of try to hide the wire a little bit by it going up as well. You put it on while it's up like this. Let's see if I can do it on camera because it is a little hard. So here it is. I'm just going to push it down and it should like kind of snap, but the wire is feeding out of the top. So if you are doing this, you do want to have it coming out the top on the battle damage Mark 85. It'll just make it look a lot more cleaner. These will be on, not all the way, but they will be on enough to where they aren't going to fall out or anything like that. So let me put this one on, and then we're actually going to get to the 1/4 one next up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that part as well. So before I do get to the 1/4 one, I just wanted to show you, this is what it looks like with all the wires coming out of it. So if you see like the side profile, you can kind of hide all these wires and it just becomes one thin wire, which you can hide very easily, especially if you do have like a black background or something like that. It's not bad, I'll tell you that. It's not bad at all. Now we do have the massive Mark IV right here. So we're actually going to do this one, and then that will be it for it. But let me actually get this installed. Same goes with what we did with the battle damage Mark 85. You take off all the plates and make sure that everything does have its corresponding, you know, positive and negative, and make sure you put it in on the right spots. So let me get the Mark IV baggie out real quick. Here it is right here. Of course, this one is a lot more than the last one. So boom, here it is. This is a lot more, and it has bigger batteries as well, or dummy batteries. Here it is, but it still is, with all this, very self-explanatory because of the size of the batteries. So all these, of course, are going to be for the bigger slots, and then the smaller ones are for the smaller slots. You just got to see which way this goes. So I believe this is the top. So the top, of course, goes in the middle chest piece, and then the sides, just like the battle damage Mark 85, goes to these two arms. And then we have some for the legs as well, which are at the bottom part of this. You have some bigger ones that go down here in the calves that have a light up feature as well. And then, of course, at the end, there is a USB right here. This one's a longer one, but it's right there. So let me get this all plugged in and show you what it looks like. Okay, so now I do have all the batteries in. Boom, boom, boom. And then these two down here, you can see. Let's turn it on real quick. I don't have the head in yet. I'll show you how to do that, but there it is, all turned on and everything, looking gorgeous. You can see lights in between the armor throughout the chest as well. Then you do have this one right here. If you take the chest off, you can see some more lights on the traps right there. It's a magnet. I love that magnet feature. You do have a lot of lights going all around here. I don't have all these open, but they are lights there. Also in his hands right here, and then again throughout the forearm right here, and then down here there's nothing there, but if you go to the back you can see some lights right here. I just don't have the piece on, but when you plug the piece in, it looks really cool. It reflects and everything. But let me show you guys how to put the head piece on. Now this is the most controversial part because it is kind of hard to wire the head in, so we're going to check that out real quick. So I do have the head wire right here. This is what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is take it out, of course. And this one's a little bit different. This one isn't covered by like a black wire. This is a very thin copper wire. So you can actually close the head on it. You can barely see it. Look at that. You can barely see it. Let's actually plug it in. So as you have everything right here, there is a tiny little plug-in that will plug into there, and let's get it plugged in. Hopefully I'm doing it the right way. It's very small, but this wire feels like a piece of hair. It really does. So let me get this in really quickly. I might have to do it off camera. And there we go. I did just plug it in there, and now this tiny wire, like I feel like if I just pull on it very gently, it's still gonna break. Just be very careful if you have this one. And then I'll put the mask back on. And actually I thought that we would have a gap. That's why I said it would be controversial, but it's not. That's how thin this wire is right here, that the whole helmet could fit on flush, even when you have that tiny little wire in there. And I absolutely love that because now there won't be any gaps. I believe the other one in here is a bit bigger. Yeah, there's another one in here that's a bit thicker, you can see. And I put this one on at first, and it did have a gap. You could see kind of where it like turned in right there. And it did have a gap in the armor, but I didn't know this one was that much thinner. And it just fits flush. It looks really good. So if you do have this set, it looks awesome. These blue lights in person, you can't really see them on camera, but in person they are very punchy blue. I love that, guys. I love it so much. Now I'm actually going to put this guy all together. I do have a Mark 7 I'll show y'all as well, but I'll show him more in the close-up pictures in the dark and stuff like that, just showing you guys how these light up and everything. I will also give you some tips and my pros and cons. So now let's get into that. All right, everybody, so I do have a few shots of the Iron Mans all lit up by the fusion reactors. Now, I did want to give you guys some tips while we are looking at that. So first tip I have for you guys is to make sure that you feed the wires out from where the screws are. If you do that, it gives it a little bit more clearance to have the battery cover more flush, so you could put on the panel of the Iron Mans back on flush as well. The second tip I have for you guys is to make sure to have the negative and positive in the correct place, because on some of mine I didn't do that and it wasn't working. So make sure that the positive and negatives are correct. Make sure that the dummy batteries are placed in all the way. On some mine I thought they were placed in all the way, but they weren't, so just make sure of that. Don't pull on the wires too hard. They are very thin and they can break. Just be very careful with them. Next tip is don't forget to flip the switch on before covering the battery pack up, because then you're gonna have to undo all of it again and then flip that switch on and put it all back on. Just make sure you're flipping that switch on. And the last tip I have for you guys is to make sure you have a clean area so you don't lose any of these tiny screws. I don't know how easy they are to find, but if you have a clean space, maybe some little Ziploc baggies to put the screws in and parts in to make sure that they aren't going anywhere, that would be awesome. But anyways, my overall thoughts on these are that it does look really nice when you have these all lit up and everything, and it's going to look really good in your collection or on your desk too. If you want this for your desk, it'll look good because it'll always be lit up right there where you can see it. They can feed throughout a DTOF really good as well, so I like that a lot. And you might need a USB extender if you're going to have to, wire it from a little bit farther away. But anyways, tell me what you think about these in the comment section below. Also, while you're down there, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.